Welcome to Dare a New Belief, a place to discover what is possible for your life after the loss of a loved one, and where you will find inspiration, insight, support, and love, and hopefully a bit of laughter to help you through your day. Now, here's your host, Nada Hogan.
Welcome to Dare a New Belief, where you will find light and life, love and joy, healing, faith, and hope. A place where you get to believe in what is possible for your life. And today I have the great honor to bring on CoRae Lierman. CoRae is a licensed massage therapist in Beamer, Nebraska. She has been in the healing modalities for the past 26 years, and she assists her clients to find balance in their spiritual, emotional, and mental bodies so they can interface their physical body in harmony and understanding. Welcome, CoRae, and thank you so much for being here with me today.
Wonderful to be with you, Nada.
Oh, I so appreciate it. And if you guys are anywhere close to Beamer, Nebraska, I'm telling you, CoRae is worth her weight in gold in the work that she does. So the first thing that I want to dive into here is to ask you, in your bio, you are assisting your clients to find balance in their spiritual, emotional, and mental bodies. What does that mean to you? How do you describe that?
When I'm working with my clients, I try to discover what their belief system is about whatever malady they've come in to see me about. And that's where we start. What is the belief system? Are you victimized by this? Are you, what is the story? And once we get to the story, then I can help them to unveil what the story is really telling them.
Okay, so then when you're talking about the interfacing their physical body and harmony and understanding, what does that look like when that's actually happening, or when you get your client to that place?
Well, people will be living less than large. They live less than their authentic self when they believe that they're being either victimized or plagued, or, asking, why am I so sensitive, or why am I in pain? And so when they figure out that sensitivity can be a great gift, unlike the former belief system that it was causing them disruption, they start to use it. They pick up the pieces and start to live large instead of living behind a shield, behind a veil.
Okay. And so the majority of the people that come into you, because you are phenomenal at the work that you do, excuse me, and I know that you also do light work and you can do remote light work. And I would love for you to talk about that a little bit in just a moment. But when people come into you to see you and you're doing hands-on work, do most of your clients already have an understanding of this, or is this something that you have to explain? And the reason I'm asking you is because when I first met you, you were my first person who really introduced me into energy work. And I would have blah, blah, blah'd all of that away until I met you, because you had a way of explaining it that made sense to me, that was palpable. I mean, and it was edible. I could consume what you were talking about. So how about your clients?
Well, there's no two people alike. My clients that come to me regularly, obviously, they know exactly what it is we're going to be doing and how they can find deeper into themselves. But a new person, by the way, I guess I speak with total authority because I've done it for myself. If someone knows how to get out of underneath the gate, you go talk to them. You say, how did you get out of underneath the gate? And I think it's just that. It's just that authority that you know how to get out of the quagmire you've built with your life previous to coming in. And ask me more questions. I can make that clearer.
Okay, so for you, for example, because you know how to help people to get out from underneath the gate, because you've done that yourself. So what was your experience with getting out from underneath the gate, and how did you do that for yourself?
I had to first understand pathology. I had to understand anatomy. I had to understand emotions and how they play with each other, on each other. For myself, I had to understand that how the body works, and that's why I went to massage school. And I know what's all connected to what and what has to be open. So that's how it works with the light body work, with remote work. I can see where the body is not flowing. But that's my gift, or that's my training. I've trained myself to be able to see remotely. And when people are on my table, I can see where the energy is not moving. So you, as an acupuncturist, you feel which pulse is not full throttle. I see it. I feel it. I sense it.
Okay. So, and then when you said that you trained yourself to see remotely, that was not something that you were born with. That wasn't like a gift that you had from early on. Is that right?
I was born with it, but I didn't know how to manage it.
Mm-hmm.
I used it for some other purposes. I was a commodities broker and worked in another whole line of business, livestock. And I used it for my extrasensory perception there to know what the market was going to do. But I didn't apply it to anything other than that. I took it as luck. Seems like luck. I can tell you what's going to happen on that tomorrow. Or somebody would say, how far does that truck have to go to get to point A to point B? And I would just say, oh, that's 55 miles. I didn't even have to think. I would have that kind of response. But after I went to the Nirvana School of Enlightenment, I realized that I had a great gift. I just had to learn how to apply it to what it is I was going to pursue as my next endeavor in life.
Mm. So you ended up going to the Nirvana School of Enlightenment, not because you necessarily wanted to at the time. I mean, something happened in your life that changed the whole trajectory of your entire life. And that was a car accident, correct?
Right. And a part of that was I was still a little lazy. I didn't want to work this hard. I wanted to be able to work through the etheric field and change something. I wouldn't even have to see people or touch them.
Yeah.
I got over that. I got over it.
Oh my goodness. So how was it that, because that's part of what we talk about on this podcast, is people that have gone through traumatic events and came out on the other side of that better than if that event never happened, because it shows us or helps us to discover a piece of us that we otherwise would have not known. Do you find that to be true about the car accident that you had?
Absolutely true. And I see it with my clients. A client that I've worked with for some years, we see it together. We see how it all has evolved, and it was in divine right timing, in divine right order from the get-go.
Yeah. 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 How do you feel about, so this is kind of just because we just kind of go where the energy takes us, CoRae. How do you feel about soul contracts? Do you think that that's a real thing, that we sign up for whatever it is that we're going to do while we're here, or do you see it differently?
I absolutely know it from personal regression therapy for myself.
Mm.
And it is a very big thing. I think it's a big thing right now that's going on again. The resurgence of information kind of goes in waves. It was a big thing 20 years ago, and then it kind of cooled off. And now it's a big thing again because people are still asking, what the? I mean,
Yeah.
right now people are all saying, what the? How did I
Yeah.
get in this deal?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the contract, yeah. It's not very reassuring or comforting when you say to someone, well, you're in the middle of a really steep learning curve. This is one of your biggest lessons. This is your arcana. They don't want to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you end up telling them when you know that that's the truth and you know that's what's going on? What do you say to them?
I said, let's just take this piece by piece. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Right. 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 Absolutely. Absolutely. So when you discovered at the Nirvana School of Enlightenment, when you discovered that you had this gift, and actually, let me backtrack a little bit because you said when you were working in the market and you were working in the cattle industry that you just thought it was luck. Is that you didn't recognize this gift for excuse me, being the gift that it is that you work with all of the time? I would imagine 24 hours out of the day you're working with this gift and this light energy now, but did you really truly think it was just luck at the time or just because you didn't know what to
Well,
name it?
I worked really hard at what I did. I compiled a lot of information. So I really, if I had an ego, I would have said, I work really hard at this. I know what's going on because I have good connections. I have compiled people in the know, and I talk to those people. They trust me. They visit with me, and I find out things. I don't want to call it insider trading because that seems like a bad word in today's world, but we always have our network where we're finding out things, and then we put it together, and we take a look at that, and we say, this is where this is going. Even right now with what we're experiencing on the planet, I'm going, a lot. This is what we're experiencing. This is where this is going. I can see the trajectory almost.
Yeah. And
Did I answer your question?
we may have to have a beer and sit down and discuss this again. No, I'm teasing. I think that you did. Yes. Where would you say that we are going now in the middle of this COVID-19? What is it that you're seeing? It's the word I stumble over all the time. Trajectory. My tongue does not work like that.
Well, I think people are going to stand up and take their power back. I think
Yeah.
they're getting real close to it because the United States of America in particular, and that's the only place I've ever lived that I can remember right now. Well, that's not true, but it's where I'm living now.
Yeah.
We've been known that, don't mess with us. We will make this right, whatever it is. And I don't think that the sheeple effect is going to happen. I think people will stand up. I think we will stop believing some things that we have been fear-mongered into believing. And the biggest thing I can see, families are coming together. They're actually spending time together. People are really appreciating what they have, perhaps, because of the fear of losing everything.
Yeah.
I think it's probably really good to slow them down. It's slowing down everything. And in the slowing down, they have to take stock of where am I at.
Yeah.
I've heard many people say, I'm kind of liking this slowing down.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And coming home, I mean home to self, coming home to self and
Yeah.
spending time with us individually, with families, yes, but also just with us, because at the end of the night, our mind is still going and we have a lot to think about. And I know that's something you and I have spoken about before, that many times people have a hard time just being alone with themselves without any of the distractors because they don't want to think or feel what it is that they're thinking and feeling. Do you still believe that to be true even now?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they might find out they really like themselves. Or they might find out, here's where I need to work. This is what I need to work on.
Right.
What part
Right.
do I? Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I'm so in agreement with that. I didn't mean to cut you off, that weird little lag time. So sorry if I just interrupted your thought on that.